Well, Tracy's 51 now, and I look at the progress she's made, and it's incredible. She's just so in control of herself.
Tracy, love you. Live in a house home with my housemate. I have a job. I will get going.
She's a good worker. She needs leadership. She needs encouragement more than anything.
Had a hard time finding work for her, and now she's got a good job. She enjoys it.
Beyond finding success and a place in the workforce, Tracy enjoys life to the fullest.
I like buying sometimes. I make a steak. My fish steaks have a turkey.
Started playing bingo with her, and after so many times, she'll take that card and she'll read every number that's called. And she just goes wild for that. She just loves to do that. I love the girl, and she tells me she loves me all the time, and that answers a lot of questions.
Things are going great now, but it hasn't always been this way for Tracy and her family. In 1967, Tracy was 3, and it was clear she wasn't progressing typically.
A long time she never said a word. I'd try to hold her, and she pushed away like she didn't like me, you know.
She tended to sit on the floor and she would just rock and just rock. She couldn't communicate, she couldn't talk, and her behavior it would come out in inappropriate behavior. She would maybe kick furniture and break things.
Tracy would go to school and she was sent home almost immediately.
Nobody ever wanted to put that label on as to what particular disability she had. Mom and Dad were overwhelmed. I mean, they're out there afloat, you know, drowning, trying to find somewhere for Tracy.
I've been working with Tracy and her family for over 15 years. Sadly, by the time I came along, Tracy was well into her 30s and had experienced a lot of trauma. When Ed and Darlene took her for testing in 1967, no one could give Tracy a diagnosis. Today, it's a safe bet that she would be diagnosed with autism, but that word barely existed back then. No one knew much about kids like Tracy. There weren't any specific programs and therapies because they did not exist yet. She was too hard, too much trouble. Tracy was branded as a problem child, and sadly, this had a devastating impact on her life. But we didn't know as much back then about disability and behaviors and autism in particular, so Tracy was bounced around to situations that only intensified her frustration and in turn worsened her behaviors. Things escalated to the point where her life became extremely constrained and she was in and out of the most restrictive level of institutional care.
Her first 20 years were pretty much a wash because she was just thrown around from facility to facility because they didn't know what to do with this type of disability.
What got to me the most was when she was shipped to Pueblo, to the hospital. We went down to see her. Everything was locked up, we couldn't get in, couldn't talk to anybody. So we just walked around at, the building. We walked past the window. Who do you think we saw? That hurt. Still does.
She had to be separated. They felt that her behavior was bad enough or threatening enough that she couldn't live with the rest of the individuals. And those were bad times.
It's been my role to encourage a number of little changes that could break this cycle and allow Tracy to develop self-control, to be a part of the community, and to have the freedom to experience life. She's really come a long way.
When my parents found ARC, it just opened up the whole world for them. Through ARC came Jeannie. She has been the thread through the whole story.
Before, we didn't even imagine that she would be out on her own.
Boy, if it can just keep going like it is, that's all I'd ask for.
She is valuable and she is valued, and that's very important to her.
I like myself too. I like to do good things, not bad things, to be good.
Without the ARC, Tracy's life would be very, very different. And my life, and my parents' life. I don't know what we would have done without the ark and without Jeannie.